Hey guys, how's it going? It's Kyra here with another Exos Heroes video. And in today's video, I want to talk about Awakening. And I've gotten a lot of requests when it comes to making an Awakening guide on which characters to choose, or which gear types you should choose for Awakening characters. So I wanted to make that video. At first, I was thinking about making an infographic for it, but I feel like there's enough nuance to it to where I don't want to have something just that's going to last a while. I want to just talk about my thought process when it comes to Awakening characters over just like here's like a picture, click the right ones. Because for the most part, a lot of this is very straightforward in my opinion, but there is some situations that I'll talk about that could warrant some thought on which way you can go. And to be honest, some of these I'm not totally sure on what the best choice is. Starting with, for the most part, when it comes to Awakening a character, and just if you're unfamiliar with how Awakening works, let's go to a character that's not awakened. And what Awakening does is it takes your Fated gear at level 60. It needs to be minus the weapon. It includes the characters. This is a common question I get. It includes this breakstone plus the 5 pieces of gear down here, and combines them and completely destroys the gear, and you get an effect. You get a bonus here based on what you choose. So if, for example, you have fire, if you have a 5-set fire, then you're going to, or if you have a 6-set fire, it's going to turn into 5,000 HP. If you have frost, for example, you're going to get 700 defense. If you get nature, you're going to get 2,000 HP and 12 dodge rate. And this is on top of what you get here. You get a normal amount. You're always going to get 1,600 HP, 350, 1,600 HP, 1,000 defense, and 1,500 attack, a lot of combat power. And you're also going to gain the ability to wear rank 1 gear. So you're going to be able to put more gear on top of this. So at this point in the game, there's absolutely no reason not to awaken a character if it's a character you're using and willing to use those resources on. Because before, when this first came out, they didn't have all the gear slots available. Whereas now you could put all 6 on there if you actually can get the rank 1 gear, which is a different. If you could do the challenge, if you could do the lunatic challenges consistently, then I would recommend Awakening. I don't think there's a reason not to awaken if you could do those consistently on every single day of the week, and so you can constantly roll for this type of gear. Let's go back here, and on top of all those things, you get these effects. So just from the beginning here, the effects that are garbage are any split sets. You're always going to want to go a full set. It's just objectively not math here, or like if you take like a 2 machine and a 3 nature or something actually works out. I haven't seen any examples of that, like 3 light and 3 nature, like none of that works. It's only full sets that are worth it for this, and the sets that are just complete garbage are going to be darkness and light, just complete trash sets so far. Maybe there's the moment just complete trash sets. The ones I've seen absolutely 0 examples where I can imagine those being a good set. The ones that are by far the most popular set right now is the fire set. The fire set is universally, if you just choose the 6-piece fire set, you can't go wrong with it. It's essentially, even in the non-optimal situations, it's just so good. It doesn't hurt. You don't feel bad about choosing a fire set in any situation. I feel like if I called it safe, then I don't feel like that does justice to just how good the fire set is. 5,000 HP on top of all the other stats you gain is just too good, especially when you compare it to 700 defense. You get so much more survivability there. 5,000 HP is just not equivalent to defense. Then even when you're gaining like dodge rate and hit rate, it's still questionable because you're getting 3,000 more HP. It's like, do you really value 12 dodge rate versus 3,000 HP, or 2,000 HP for 12 hit? For the most part, most characters don't. They're going to choose the HP. But here, now let's talk about the other sets. And because just trying to really establish that fire sets, don't feel bad about choosing a fire set. If people go like, oh, you should win nature, you should win machine or something, or you should win frost even, I wouldn't feel too bad about it. I would probably just keep the awaken, knowing that it wasn't optimal, but I would keep that awaken over unawakening that character. Okay. And then, but if you ever awaken a character with like mix sets or something like that, probably would unawaken them and do it right, in my opinion. Okay. So next, let's talk about frost set. And frost set is very unique in the sense that there's only going to be very specific exceptions for the frost set to be worth it. Because if you've ever done the math on, like, they don't tell us how good defense is, but just from testing the game, defense is just a garbage stat when it comes to survivability. It's just not that good. It's good, but not that good. And so 700 defense on top of that is a really underwhelming set bonus for doing this. But there's certain characters that have requirements at certain defense thresholds, like they need to have the most defense. Usually it's just they need to have the most defense. So an example of that, the classic example of that would be Shifraken. And he's a character that has the passive here. Fear the Abyss marks to enemies with defense lower than you. Of course, you're going to want to give him the frost set, give him the most defense possible so he could proc Fear the Abyss. Another example of that would be a new one here in Schmid here. Because Schmid needs defense, Master's Footsteps, grant Master's Footsteps to an ally with lower defense than the caster. So that's another example of potentially wanting to go blue set. Depending on the characters you use on the team, maybe you still want the extra survivability, and you already know that you're going to be able to give Master's Footsteps to all your teammates because they're like mages and stuff or assassins, and his just natural defense is going to be higher. I would play it safe. If I ever pull him, I'm going to blue set him, is my call. So those are examples of blue set. Very niche, but that's the concept on when you would ever want to choose a blue set. Okay, next, this is where the conversation actually happens. It's going to be on green and machine sets, because the green set is 2000 HP and then 12 dodge rate. And then the machine one is 3000 HP and 12 hit. Let's talk about dodge first. And dodge on characters, you definitely notice it because this is another stat. Dodge and hit are stats that they don't give us the specifics, but just from seeing base hit, for example, or let's say go to a dodge character. So Rare is a good example of a character that dodges a lot. If you just look at her stats, she has significantly more dodge than most characters. Like, so this is not her typical dodge amount, because I believe I upgraded her with the green set. Yeah, I did green set on her, and then I also have more dodge on her. Just from playing the game, you notice that characters like that have significantly more dodge actually do dodge quite a bit more. So I would say it's a pretty valuable stat for a character like that, and it's just kind of up to you. Do you want consistent survivability of 2000 more HP, or do you want the dodge? Do you want to keep stacking that dodge? And me personally, I like to stack the dodge, because at the same time they could just get more hit. So if I didn't keep going on with the dodge, if they end up just getting hit, then they're going to hit me significantly more than what I'm used to, and I'm not going to be getting nearly as many dodges as what I've gotten before Awakening existed. I think that is a good way to lead into the hit. Is, for the most part, there is only one class of character that would miss consistently. Like I was saying earlier, when it comes to these stats, we don't know specifically what they do, but just from our experience, we know that the hit stat matters. Because if you look at the base stats of mana utilization characters, they're the only character like this, besides healers, that have just a low base hit rating compared to other, and it's not that much stat-wise. If you look at it, so for example, let's go to the book. I want to go here. Let's go look at Rachel, for example. When you look at he has 101, but if we go to Bathory, 90. That's only 11 points there. 110, 90. If we go to another mana utilization character, like that would be Magi, for example. Let's find her. Boom, 90 again. So, but then all these other characters have just 100 to 110, and they're significantly more accurate. Just from noticing it. I know this is anecdotal and this is not like guaranteed numbers, but if you just play this game any meaningful amount of time, you will know that mages miss all the time comparatively to other characters. So machine sets are probably going to be pretty good for them to give them that extra hit. But especially in PvP, if you have like a character that dodges a lot, that if you look at her base stats, she's really not that survivable relative to other characters. She's going to want that extra dodge to dodge more. So to make up for that. And I think for a lot of these characters, if they're a damage character, you're relying on them to hit, like let's say mana utilization characters, or like let's say, for example, Diva here. You want her to hit. You want to rely on her to hit because she's going to start the match off with her A2 here. That's going to bind everyone if you actually have her with Unleashed Potential, and if she's in your PvP team, that's probably going to happen. Dork is going to be a character you're really going to rely on wanting to hit because she's going to AoE bind everyone as well. So I would say machine sets are going to be really important for these style of characters. Banking on them to hit these AoEs. Main utilization characters I think could be really beneficial when it comes to hit sets. And it just kind of depended on how you envision the match going. Because I feel like these are kind of more aggressive characters that are looking to, they're fast and they want to take the fight to you. They're not trying to dodge and survive. They're trying to make sure that the fight, they're landing their skills, they're doing the damage, they're ending the match. Because as I talk about this more, it kind of makes me want to put hit on Rhea, for example. But I've never had any issues with her missing. I totally understand the logic of just taking the dodge because she's never really had an issue missing anyway. Because when it comes to her specifically, so with her, she has Guardian Star, which increases attack speed by 32 and accuracy by 100. 100 accuracy. There's a reason why she just never misses. Because you saw the difference between 10 accuracy. And so that's why I think dodge is best for her. These other characters that you're relying on to hit that don't necessarily have this essentially guaranteed to hit passive when it comes to gaining 100 accuracy, machine sets are going to be good for them. Red sets can still be good for them if you're willing to take like a small risk in them missing. That's where the only real changes come when it comes to awakening a character is going to really come down to do they need a particular threshold? For example, Garf needs to be the highest. For example, Garf needs to have the highest HP to give the command passive. So of course, you're going to red set him. Grants all allies with lower maximum health than self with the command mark and increases defense health by, so of course you're going to go with the health set here. Healers heal based on the percentage of their max health. So of course you're going to go red set with them. And also another thing that I do think is worth mentioning is the set bonuses you gain. So for example, you used to gain on your weapon set bonuses, you gain like total damage reduction, or you gain status effect immunity if you had machine, or you gain dodge on green, or you gain like lifesteal with purple. You don't gain those anymore. When you have rank 1 gear, you're going to be gaining the same effects as the awakening set. So you just double up on it. So it's the same effect. So notice how the nature effect here, nature set bonus of 6. So 2000 HP, 12 dodge rate, and then the equipment Guardian Stone effect of 500 HP and 3 dodge rate because I don't have the full set yet. But it's not the old effects anymore. It's this new rank 1 version of the effects that applied to the Awaken and to the gear now, which I think is kind of interesting. Me personally, I just like the set bonuses of the last set more. I thought the machine set was way more interesting than just adding more hit. I was hoping it would be, okay, here's this specific awakening effect, and then we still get to keep the same effects from last season, but that's not the case. So you would definitely want to double up on one of these, or if you went red set, then you can splash in a green set. You can splash in a machine set and see if it actually makes a difference. And you're only taking 12 dodge versus, going 24 dodge, or you're only taking 12 hit versus, fully going all the way with it. So I think that's just one thing to keep in mind when it comes to this, is that even based on your choice, as long as you didn't make the wrong choice initially, you just made one of the three, either green, red, or machine, you can still you still have a little bit of flexibility in your build going forward. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the awakening that I look at. Pretty much, I just by standard look at almost everyone as a red set, and then kind of think about it from there. A new mechanic that could play some kind of potential changes to how we evaluate things is going to be Unleashed Potential. Now we're gaining essentially a full awakened red set bonus multiple times here, where you're getting 4,750 health here, 4,750 health there. You're gaining a ton of defense multiple times. So we're significantly more survivable. So I think the stat that's going to be more valuable is going to be dodge rate and hit, because it's you can't add that here when it comes to Unleashed Potential. We can add all that HP, we can add a lot more defense, but we can't add any hit, we can't add any crit rate. So if you're missing those things, definitely consider it on the gear more than going just red set with a whole bunch of more survivability. Maybe it's too much survivability. and if you miss a key move or something, that could be impactful. So it's just something to keep in mind. Probably, like, we're just min-maxing at that point, but it's a new mechanic that I kind of wanted to go over as well. So those are my thoughts on Awakening. I think it's better to kind of show how I think about Awakening versus just telling you which characters, because I think you might have a different opinion based on what I would say versus that. There could be changes in the meta. There could be new mechanics in the future. And if I'm not super on it, you can get bad information. So that's going to be it for my Awakening guide. Let me know down. Just let me know on Discord if you have any questions. Also in the comments too, definitely answer both of those. But the Discord, we got a really good community in the Discord there. So be sure to join that if you want to talk all things Exos Heroes. And with that, you guys have a good one. Peace.